Hey everyone, what's up? I'm here with my friends Shane and James today from GS1. And you all may have heard of GS1 because at some point in your e-commerce career, you probably needed a barcode. Or you got to the point where you might have maybe where you were selling on Shopify and you didn't need a barcode before, and now you're coming over to Amazon and suddenly you need a barcode. And you go to the GS1 website and you're not really sure what to do. So I'm so glad to have GS1 here today. We're going to do a really cool demo. We're going to show you how to create a barcode. We're going to show you the differences. We're going to talk about the differences between GTINs and barcodes and UPCs and all those things. They're kind of all the same thing, but we just call them, they have different names. So we're going to explain that today. And hopefully this will really, really help you in your workings with GS1 and be able to get you your barcodes fast, speedy, and as easy as possible process or way. So I'm going to turn it over to Shane and James now, just to tell everybody a little bit about them and what they do for GS1.
Sure. Well, my name is Shane Morris, and I work for GS1 US, and I'm in business development. So what our team does is we work with companies like Amazing at Home. So we have people like in our small business marketing that work directly with the brands. In e-commerce, you have to have, you can't get online today alone. You have to have, what we call trusted advisors, people like you, to help people get online and optimize in whatever channel they're in. And so our team works with companies like yours, so we can give you accurate information, and then you can tell your customers or your members. And that's how my team works. And James, I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. So I'm a solutions consultant here at GS1 US, and I sit on our product management team. So my primary focus is helping brands manage their GTINs or UPCs in our data hub tool, and also helping users query that data so they can use it for their e-commerce sites, their different apps, whatever their use case is.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It sounds like we have both of the right experts here today to show us how to get a barcode. So before we get into our demo, can we just talk a little bit about GTIN barcode? What's the difference? I know when I go to gs1.org, I see something asking me about, how many barcodes do I need? But then it asks me, do I just need a company GTIN, just one company GTIN? Can you explain what that is and how people should decide what they need, whether it's a GTIN, a barcode? How do they make that decision when they come to the gs1.org homepage?
Sure. I'll do that very quickly. And it can get confusing because the words, like you said, GTIN, UPC, barcode, they're all used interchangeably. But for the most part, when somebody's talking about a GTIN or a UPC or a barcode, they mean the same thing. So I'm just going to give you the technical definitions of what each one of those are, and then show you how to get it and how to determine how many that you want to get. So a GTIN is what is called the global trade item number. And that global trade item number is unique identification for products in the marketplace. It's a unique either 12 or 13 digit number, depending on where you source that number from. So meaning if you get your barcode or GTIN out of North America, so GS1 US, GS1 Canada, it's going to be a 12 digit number. Pretty much anywhere else in the world is what's called an EAN, or European article number. That would be equivalent to UPC. It's still a GTIN 13. So it's a product identifier, 12 or 13 digits. That's the global trade item number. Each one is globally unique. They're verifiable through the GS1 global registry. And that's exactly how Amazon uses that, and a lot of other retailers, is they want to make sure the brands that are listing on their site are authentic, that they're the true owners of their brand. So that's what they check. When you list a product on Amazon, they're going to bump that global trade item number, that number that you listed with, against our database to make sure it's a, it's a verified company that
it
it's
belongs to
authentic.
you, right? To make sure that
Exactly.
number, that product belongs to the brand that is listing it, right?
Exactly.
So what you're explaining is that the GTIN, the Global Trade Identification Number, is actually the same thing as a barcode, right? It is the thing that those numbers kind of create a barcode, right?
That's the number that's embedded in the bottom of, again, the technical term is the UPC barcode. That's the number that you find on the bottom. That's the global trade item number. And then the UPC technically is the barcode.
Yes. Okay. So the number that goes below the UPC, which is the barcode, is the same as your GTIN. And that's what I noticed, is that every GTIN that I generated inside of my data hub tool was unique, but had the start of the barcode, it was the same to identify my company. So there's different parts of that barcode, right? So let's say I'm a new seller. I have one product. So this is the thing where people get confused, right? Let's say that I'm selling just this water bottle here. It's very beautiful, one color. I just need one barcode for this one product. Should I just sign up for the single GTIN for GS1, for the single company GTIN, and use that as my barcode? Or do I need to purchase the 1 to 10 barcode option? So how do I choose now? If I have just this color versus if I've got 3 different colors that I'm launching of this water bottle here, then I'm going to need 3 barcodes, one for each color. So how do I choose if I'm just have one product, one color, one thing that needs one barcode versus more than one?
It's a good question, and we speak to that a lot, and I've given some presentations where we call it begin with the end in mind. So really, it's a business decision, but you have to kind of think, where do you see your brand going? Over a course of a year, 2 years, 5 years down the line. So if that one, cup that if you don't foresee that expanding beyond that one color, or potentially beyond 5 colors, you probably you also don't see yourself expanding off of Amazon. That single GTIN is probably a good choice. But if most Amazon sellers are ambitious and they want to expand and grow and scale their product lines, so the decisions you have to make is, because you don't have to use, if you got that 10 capacity prefix is what it's called, you don't have to use all 10 of those at once. You can use 3 and have 7 in reserve. But if you're going to expand your product categories, beyond 10, I would say a prefix is the way to go. We sell them. They are licensed in capacities of 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000. So I would say pick one of those. The other thing you have to think about, if you're going to scale outside of Amazon environment and look to potentially go into retail, you will want a prefix, because retailers are going to ask for other GS1 standards that can only be enabled through a GS1 company prefix.
Okay,
so those are
the
just
difference is a prefix between a single GTIN chart, looking at the single GTIN option, where your company just needs a single GTIN, which means you just need a single barcode essentially. Then that's fine. But if I ever want to expand beyond that, or if I want to add new barcodes, I want to make sure I'm going to end up needing a prefix anyway, because it's going to do that. So if I just choose the single and then later on I decide to expand, will it be the same company prefix be available or for me to add on, or is it kind of a one and done thing? I know for me, I originally purchased several years ago, I purchased 10 and then I ran through all 10 and now I have like 2 different areas in GS1. It's a little bit confusing because like all of these are used now and I'm starting on my next batch. So is it okay? Can I add on later?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you set up your GS1 account, you're going to set it up under your legal entity name, right? So If you start with a single GTIN, you've got that one product, and that's going to go under your account name. But then you find, oh wow, this silver cup is blowing out, and I need 10 more colors. You can still come back and just license a prefix. It's still going to sit under your account. And then if a retailer picks you up, like I said, you're going to have to, in order to comply with some of the other standards, like it could be EDI. I'm throwing these terms out, which some people know, some people don't, or a certain logistics barcode. They can only be enumerated through that prefix. But that doesn't mean you couldn't ship that one item that's got the single GTIN with the other items that you've attached to, that are attached to that prefix. So it's all fine. And that's the beauty of the single. It's only been around for about 3 years now, since 2020, and that was from us listening to the community. And there were so many people coming online and needed to be, the prefix didn't necessarily work for them. They just needed a one or a few different barcodes. So we created that single option.
Got it. Okay, well, I think that helps people make a decision on whether or not they should just go ahead with the 1 to 10 or the single. That helps them kind of make a decision from there. So let's get into it. Once I've signed up for GS1, either my single GTIN or my, let's say I chose the prefix with the 10 up to 10 barcodes, 1 to 10, which is what a lot of people I'm sure will do the first time. What do I do from there? I'm going to get into my GS1 dashboard, and where do I go to actually create those barcodes? Can we do a demo?
Yep, absolutely. That's what we're here for. So what we've done is, James, you got it? You're going to pull it up. So when you go onto our website, you're going to, it's like an e-commerce transaction. So you can do it all online. So whether it's that single or a GTIN, and then you're going to get an email from us basically saying to set up my GS1 account. So what this screen is this shows you where you manage your account within GS1 US. And so if you have multiple prefixes or that single GTIN plus a prefix, that's all going to show up on this account. So you're going to set up your account. You're going to see this page now right over to the left. But I know how you're as a seller, you're just thinking, okay, great, this is my account. I just need to get my barcode for my product, that GTIN. So you can see over to the left, there's a button there that just says Access GS1 US Data Hub. Data Hub is a tool which allows anybody who's licensed a single GTIN or a prefix to actually create their products within this tool, assign attributes, core attributes. It's nothing like the attributes Amazon's looking for, but some of the same ones. So you can create kind of your core attributes up in this tool, and then you can create your barcodes in this tool. You can export information, and we're going to go through all that. So you've hit that button. So this is the Data Hub tool. So this is going to be the welcome page, and this is going to be your dashboard. So what you're going to see, what we did is we set this demo up that I'm a seller who licensed a 10 capacity prefix. So I'm going to be able to create 10 barcodes. So on this dashboard, you can see right there that you can, when you come in, you've purchased it, you set up your account. Now you can see GTIN capacity available. I have 10 available. You've over to the right used, you've used 0. So, you're going to see that dashboard every time. So if you use 5 and you didn't use 5, you're going to see available 5, used 5. The other thing about this page, I just like to throw, oftentimes, especially in the Amazon environment, there's situations that come up where they ask you to show your certificate of authenticity, your GS1 certificate. You can print your certificate right from this page as well. If you're assigning GTINs to products and you find yourself needing more, you can also, where it says get more GTINs barcodes, you can click that link as well. So this is your dashboard. Now let's take you on the journey that, okay, great, I've got 10 available. I need to start creating products. James, I'm going to let you take over from here.
All right, perfect. So now let's get our barcode, right? So we'll come to the top and we'll click on product. And this will be the page where all of your products will be listed. And if you purchase the single GTIN and not the prefix, it will actually already be here with some basic information. But for this account, we went through the just purchasing a prefix. So you can always click on our help me at the top to say, hey, I'm new, help me create a barcode, and it'll walk you through step by step. So first step, add a new product. And we, over the last year, we've done some things to really simplify this process. So we broke it down into 4 different steps. So we're going to have our basic item information. We're going to assign the GTIN, enhance the data with some optional attributes if you'd like, and then add some weights and dimensions for the 4th step. Okay. So for the product description, this will be the description that would identify the product that you may see like on a .com or Amazon. So in this example, we're going to say this is Shane's V-neck black medium t-shirt. And then for the brand name, we'll go with Shane's Shirts. Then we have a few different industries to choose from, CPG, healthcare, food service, apparel. And then if your product doesn't fit into any of these industries, you can just select general. Then the SKU field, this is used just if you have your own internal product code that you'd like to place on the item, you can use this SKU field.
And just a note for Amazon sellers, a lot of times people don't set up their own SKU. They'll put their product in Amazon's inventory, and Amazon will auto assign a SKU to you. So you may want to make those 2 things match, just so it's very easy for you to tell the difference. Of course, you know, we've given an example of the black medium t-shirt here in the product description, which is helpful. But sometimes when you're looking at that chart on your product page from Data Hub, it's confusing. So like for me, I sell different colors of a product and I'm like, okay, what is it? So I actually name my SKUs by, you know, the actual color and product name, and I enter those SKUs into Amazon. So you can do it both ways, where either Amazon assigns you a SKU and then you enter that SKU in here so that you can make sure they match and everything is good. Or if you assign your own SKUs, you can utilize that. And in retail, in big retail, usually each company has its own SKU convention. And that's why, like, SKU naming convention for them to identify their inventory. And that's why Amazon also has that field. And so a lot of Amazon sellers don't really understand that, but it's actually pretty normal for brands to have their own SKU naming convention. So just wanted to add that in.
Good.
Then this next attribute here is just packaging level. So each means that this is going to be the unit that's sold at point of sale. Then you have your case, you could choose a pallet, but for the lowest level of packaging, you would use each. And then these questions here, purchasable by the consumer. This means that a consumer like myself, I could jump on my phone and go online and purchase your item, or I could go to a retail store, scan it at checkout. So that's what this particular question means.
And I also get this question a lot when I'm helping people create their barcodes. And I tell people, if you're about to go live with this product, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, if you're creating it for your packaging and it's about to go, you're about to go live with it, go ahead and select yes here. It's not going to ask you for proof. It's
right.
You know, but if you don't, then you have a lot more steps later to get the barcode active. So I just choose yes here. And then for packaging level, every single time you should be using, if you're an Amazon seller and you're creating a barcode for Amazon, you should never need a different barcode other than each. Because if you're doing case packs or whatever, you know, it's still, the packaging level is going to be each, unless you're a larger brand selling to retail and you need barcodes for wholesale case packs, that kind of thing, then you would utilize this. But for us Amazon sellers, for what we use GS1 for, we would never use a packaging level, to my knowledge, other than each, because our barcodes for our cartons and our pallets come from Amazon's shipping system itself. So we wouldn't necessarily use GS1 barcodes for them. And then remember, you guys, if you choose a different packaging level other than each, so let's say you're like, oh, well, I need one for my palette, and you choose that one. Now you've just used up one of your GTINs, and you don't need to use up one of your GTINs. You don't want to use up one of your barcodes for that. So I think it's very important to point that out for sellers, that never choose anything except for packaging level each in this scenario, unless you are selling outside of Amazon and you have been given specific guidance by your retailer that they need a barcode from GS1 for like a palette or something like that.
Good point. It's great.
Yep, thank you. So that's it for the first page. So step 1 complete. So we'll save and continue. Then there's a few options to choose here. I would suggest always just letting us assign your GTIN. So what we'll do is we'll take your prefix and we'll use the next number in line for you, and you'll get your GTIN here, this 14-digit number, and then you'll also get the number, this UPC number here, which will be the 12-digit number.
And for people who don't see that, the only difference between the 14 and the 12 is the 2 zeros at the beginning. And what you use the GTIN 14 for is actually for labeling your cartons as they're going through customs, because customs, and again, it's only the 2 zeros at the front. That's the only difference between the 12 and the 14, but customs will actually use your 14-digit barcode on the outside of your cartons to just check your company information. So when your supplier asks you, like, what labeling do you want on the outside of your boxes for shipping, your shipping cartons, you can actually add the GTIN number there. And then I usually do product name, the GTIN 14, and then sometimes color or any other describing information. And then sometimes country of origin, such as like made in China, that kind of thing. But that's something to think about for your GTIN 14 and what you might use it for.
Perfect. Now we'll save and continue, and we've completed the first 2 steps, and everything past this point is actually optional. You don't have to populate, but we'll still go through some of the maybe more important attributes. So the image URL, this is going to be a link directly to an image of your product. Like I said, it's optional. Not everyone has this, but if you do, you can put this here, and then someone querying your product in our tool will be able to see an image of your product along with the other attributes you populated. Okay. And then this global product classification code. This code is used for classifying your item. So there's thousands of different codes to choose from. They're 8-digit codes. And that we have a browser here, this UPC browser, for you to search through your different codes. You can type in a keyword like t-shirt, and you'll get a few different options for t-shirts for codes you can use.
Okay, so if you don't know what that is, you could probably just leave it blank.
Right. Then net content. So here we'll just say that this is 1 count.
And what we usually just choose is each, like one each, or
right.
1 count. That's fine. And you guys will see the same thing in your Amazon listings, right? They ask you, like, is this 1 count? Is this 1 case? Whatever. But usually it's 1 count or 1 each, or if it's a liquid product, you could do 8 fluid ounces, whatever, right?
Yep. And then here, if you have descriptions and brand names in different languages, you can set those here, but we will save and continue. Okay. Then the 4th step is just weights and dimensions, and again, this is optional. But I'm just going to populate so you can see what it looks like. All right. So we've completed all 4 steps.
Now
Next step is.
I know that people will ask this question. So you just entered in product dimensions and some other information. If I put this product on Amazon and they're verifying that, my GS1 information matches, all of that, And let's say that I didn't know the exact product dimensions, and then later on I go list it on Amazon and I put the exact product dimensions because that's how they calculate FBA fees and shipping. Will there be any conflict? Will they double check this and go, oh, wait, it says, you know, that this is 2 inches. Do you know if they check that, or if that would cause some kind of conflict if I do fill this information in and it ends up being correct?
They don't check it. They won't check this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
And
more for my reference. Like if I
Yeah.
want to keep this information in here, it's a great place where I can go back and look at dimensions, and then I don't have to bring up my Amazon account and go into inventory and figure out like, wait, what was the dimensions of that again? I could keep it here for reference, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
And these, like you can see, it's just core attributes. And then he'll show you there's a way to export that. A lot of people use this as kind of to start their product catalog. So then they'll export the information in a spreadsheet. The beauty of that is that GTIN is going to be accurate. And then you have some of this core attribute information, you know, as a base. And then you're going to extend those attributes specifically for Amazon. You know, they're asking for a lot more information that's in here. So
now, once you put the barcode to in use, can you edit this information? Because I have tried to edit it in the past after it's in use, to like give it a better name, and it would not let me edit it. It like made me expire it first, and then I couldn't reuse that barcode, and I ended up in this vicious loop. So if I need to update this information, can I?
So if it's in use, there are some attributes that you can't edit. But we've definitely heard feedback from the community, and that's something we are taking back to the product team, you know, to kind of, you know, see if we can alleviate some of that pain, right?
Okay.
So right now, the answer is no, you can't edit it.
Got it. Okay.
But yep, so the last step here, you know, we went through our 4 steps. First 2 are required. And then we're going to set the status to in use so that we can view the barcode and others can see the product. Okay. So now that it's in use, we can click here on View Barcode.
All right, and I think this is confusing for people too. So right now you have a UPCA selected, and that this is for general retail grocery. Is there something else, you know, general retail checkout and shipping and receiving? Is there something else that we should be choosing here, or are those options just fine?
Yeah, this option is just fine. It's really generic. What you want is this barcode type to say UPCA.
Okay, perfect.
And then here you can preview the barcode. And here it is. Here's your barcode. And you can download an image of the product. You can print the definition and hand it off to your labeler.
You mean download an image of the barcode?
Yeah, download an image of the barcode.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, and what I do, you guys, a little hack here, when I download my image of the barcode, it actually will save the file with the numbers from the barcode in it. So I just amend the product name to the end of those numbers. And that way, not only do I have my GTIN right in the file name, but I also have the product name right in the file name. And then I save those in my drive so that I always know, okay, this is the barcode, you know, this is what I need. And what some sellers might wonder is, why would I need an image of the barcode? I put an FN SKU on my products, right? So the reason you'd need an image of the barcode is for 2 reasons. The first one would be if you're selling in retail, or if you're using the manufacturer's barcode on Amazon, like I do. I don't actually use FN SKU barcodes. I use the manufacturer's barcode. So I download this PNG and I send this over to my packaging designer, and this barcode is put on every single one of that product, right? So it's printed as part of the packaging. And then when I send into Amazon, I have manufacturer's barcodes set up. I don't apply FN SKU labels to every single one. And that's a common misnomer. A lot of people think, oh, you have to have an FN SKU. It's mandatory. No, it's not. You can actually use this product barcode on your actual products, and you can set up your listings in Seller Central to use the manufacturer's barcode. Now, on Amazon, that does present some risks if you're selling a common product that's easy to source, because if you use a manufacturer's barcode on a common product that is easy to source, someone else, if they also get that same barcode and copy you, or if they use an FN SKU to send it into Amazon, your products will be commingled in the same bin, and you may not be able to as easily shut that competitor down that's on your listing in an unauthorized manner. So those are some things to think about. I know that's beyond GS1 today, but I know that Amazon sellers who are watching this video will have that question. So save these barcodes. Also, when you're getting approved for brand registry, Amazon requires you to submit a picture of the product in its packaging with the UPC barcode. They will not accept a picture of the product with the FN SKU on it. So it is important that you still have that. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's just one of those isms that is part of the registry process. So that is why you might use this barcode image.
Thank you.
Amazing. All right. And if we can go back to the Data Hub page, just so that people can see, if they closed out of this window, and ended up back on this page, and they needed to actually see their barcode from here, how could they, or set it to in use? Because they may have closed out of that other window that you had open before they clicked in use. So isn't there a way also to set it to in use from here?
Sure. So this product is already in use, but instead of set to archived, when you click on this checkbox, it'll be in a pre-market status or draft, depending on how far you got. And you can just click on that set in use button. Okay. Go back into the item, work on it, get your barcode, you know.
Okay, got it. So if we need to change the status, we can click there. And then if we need to actually get the barcode again, we can just click inside of the description, the linkable description, and then we can click on view barcode again.
That's right. It'll be right here for you whenever you need it.
Awesome. All right. I think that pretty much covers it. I think the only other questions people may have is, why would you set a product to archived? One of the problems that I've had working inside of Data Hub is I've gotten to where I've changed a barcode or it's no longer in use, and I want to reuse it for a new product. And it won't let me. It gives me the, once I archive it, or once I, set it to out of use, when I try to reuse that same barcode for a new product in the future, I have not been able to figure that out. Maybe it's not possible, but a lot of sellers, they'll launch something new. Let's say I launched this cup and it was in 3 different colors and it was a miserable failure, and I closed it down. Yeah. And, now I would like to use those barcodes that I purchased for my new, my new products that are doing really great, or that, I'm newly launching. Can I reuse a barcode? And if so, how?
So you asked good questions, and you were great all through this, because I love your perspective. And so once that global trade item number has been assigned to a product and it's been put in use, under the, the GS1 GTIN management standard, you cannot reuse that GTIN for additional products. So it basically, you just have to set it out to pasture. Let me give you a good example of why. And it's really changed a lot since, e-commerce has kind of taken over the world. But even though that you've discontinued that product listing could be sitting in a lot of different places, so it can still be out there in the ecosystem, on different websites, on different listings. I used to work for a apparel manufacturer. We sold to Amazon and, all the different platforms, different retailers who had e-commerce platforms. We had a development guy who did exactly that, where he repurposed some of our GTINs, and we, with some old products, he didn't know, signed them to new products. We pushed that stuff out to our retailers, and it was a disaster because that sat, those old GTINs sit in these item masters. They're, you don't know what their schedule is of how often they clean it out. Amazon, it was the same problem. They had these older products still sitting in their product catalog. And so that's why.
Oh, yeah, I do remember even some of the barcodes that were issued by third parties. Originally, when people first started on Amazon before they did the GS1 mandate, people were having problems with conflicts where they couldn't list a product because that barcode was already used or something like that. And that's when I think they were having to send in their certificates. Like you mentioned, like, you could print out your certificate from your dashboard. So that makes sense, why we wouldn't want to recycle barcodes. We want everything to have a new one, because what if this was once belonging to some other product? Now your product's being confused with that one, and you're like, no, that's not what I'm selling. This product belongs to my brand. So this does allow for that authenticity, and for someone else to not be able to use that barcode that belongs to your company in the future and maybe cause issues for you, right? So that makes sense. Thank you for explaining that, because I thought for just a small moment that maybe GS1 was just trying to make things difficult for me.
In the big scheme of things, we're trying to make it easier, and one of the questions we try to answer to, especially in the Amazon community, is, why do I have to go to GS1? But if you look again, I think the e-commerce has transformed the way people shop and the way these retailers and these platforms catalog items. There's billions of items listed today. The UPC was created to help get through checkout, at point of sale faster. And it's kind of bridged that gap now. And really where it sits in the e-commerce environment, that's how Google, Amazon, all these large platforms, when somebody's searching, that's how it identifies that product, because they're all unique. Yeah. So it can, classify them and then see somebody searching and then identify those items in their back ends, in the back end, in the databases. So.
And I think as barcodes get smarter, I know the last time that I had you guys on my show, we talked about like some of the future of what's going on with barcode and these 3-dimensional ones that are coming, and some of the ways that, we label our food and different things. Everything is changing. So it's good for brands to have that authenticity and that trust. As barcodes evolve, you're already going to be with the agency that actually issues all the original barcodes. So you're going to be in that ecosystem already, which is very, very helpful for everyone as e-commerce and commerce in general continues to evolve in such a huge way. We're seeing with AI, just things happening massively faster than they did before. And just even looking at search results, we think about how Google now is not just using text in their search results, they're using images, they're using video clips, right? So everything is going to change. I know it's already changed with e-commerce, but everything is going to change about the way that we shop and the way we identify products and the way that we learn more information about the products that we use. And that's all going to come through scannable things, the merging of digital and physical. So I love that GS1 is staying on top of that. And if I have my account with GS1 and I'm, doing creating my barcodes through GS1, I'm going to be part of that evolution. And as things move forward, my barcodes are going to move forward with it. So that can be very, very helpful for folks that, especially that maybe started out using a third-party barcode and are wanting to really grow their brand and get on that same standard. So yes, I completely agree. I think it's super smart. And I'm hoping that today's tutorial has helped folks get started with GS1, understand what they're supposed to be doing and how they can create and utilize their barcodes. Am I forgetting anything, guys?
Nope, just, come to our website. We've got a lot of great information.